Instagram that I would do a video on etiquette of starting in the industry. This sort of goes through everyone and everything, but the first one would be, don't be a douche. This is easy enough. Most of these are common sense, but these are things that people don't understand. Not being a douche means if you are saying that you are something, live with that. You want to start building your image and your brand in a certain direction, and you want to stay consistent with that. So let's say you talk about universal love, then you have to give the universal love. You have to live up what you're selling. I could go into marketing for hours and hours, but I have a marketer who does that for me. So I have the certain things that I do, and I'm consistent with those. Also into this category goes being nice to people, which should come naturally. If you're a nice person, you're a nice person, and you'd get something out of this. If you're not a nice person, then things are going to be hard because you have to at least act like you are and fake it till you make it, because, and people don't realize this, hustle beats talent when talent don't hustle. This is easy, man. Everybody should do this. And it just amazes me how people don't get this. I've been blackballed. I've been gaslighted. I've had gigs stolen from me. I've had people get into personal things with me, and that's affected my job. Let's say, for instance, you get into an argument with somebody, and what happened to me was this person who I had an argument with started trying to screw up my gigs. And it was really hard for me on a personal level, and it was also really hard professionally to get away from that stigma. And even though it wasn't, true, I had to fight and show who I was to get through that. So there's one. That's very important. Secondly is exactly the hustle beats talent, talent don't hustle. You gotta work hard. There are 3 ways to start that you see the most, which is either you're dissing somebody and getting big that way, because all attention is good attention. This would be like the R. Kelly effect, let's call it that, where people talk about R. Kelly and they're gonna joke about him forever for the P thing. Then there's just being nice and working. And the third one is, and you'd be surprised, being good at what you do. Everybody doesn't have good taste, but you get acquired to it. If you work with good people, you're good. You always, always, always want an exchange. Do not do anything for free. If you are getting something out of it, you're doing things right. And this is really bad and sounds really opportunistic, but you always want to work with somebody who's better than you, or at the same level. If somebody who's better or bigger than you offers you something, then you stick to that, because that way you're sort of going to pony on them, but then business partnership sort of goes together with that, and the being nice. So all of these things correlate together, and they sort of intermix. My own history is that I've worked my ass off. I've been modeling for 6 years. I had sort of like a mentor when I started out who taught me everything, and I still implement and use these things today. And I am happy that I had this person teach me, and I'm very fortunate to have that. I think of myself more as an artist than a model. I have X amount of followers, it's not important. I've done commercial work, I've done all of these things. I help manage one of the biggest catalogs of models, the biggest catalog of models on the planet, probably. I take great pride in that. I got that job by working my ass off and being a good person. I have helped other models. I have, first I won Model of the Month for TAMD, and after that I won Model of the Year. That's a catalog. That is the catalog of several thousands of models that means a lot. I didn't get there without not hustling. I am good at what I do. I take pride in being good at what I do, but that's what got me there. If I would have acted like an asshole, I probably wouldn't have gotten those gigs. I've heard not nice things about myself, and I still treat modeling like my job. I mean, it is my job. My job is to get there, look good, do my job, go home, and then the photographer takes care of the rest. But when you start doing that, you want to be as far done as you can. Because if you're far done, then they have less work. That means you act professionally, you show up on time, you know what you're doing, you've got everything set, and that will get you everywhere. I've danced on stage with bands. I've done a whole lot of things, and I wouldn't have gotten there today and be here today if I hadn't taken things seriously. And that's sort of, you know, common sense isn't so common. People think they can act whatever way they want, and they don't understand that your image is that person. I mean, I am a private person. I have my private life. But then that runs into Sadie, and Sadie and I are still the same person. So I implement some of the things, and I guess you could say that the essence of me is in Sadie. Sadie's more, what do you call it? She's more confident. She has her thing. And then I'm the real me, who I am. It's not hard to juggle, but if I started personally acting badly, then that would, you know, take away from that. So, you know, it's work. If I was talking about something I didn't know anything about, let's say, we can call it the sandbox gangster. The sandbox gangster is somebody who's just starting out, who doesn't know what they're doing, who thinks that they can talk about things that they don't know anything about, and just are starting out and like don't understand how things work. Like let's say you're a misogynist. You say you call women bitches and hoes. That's not cool. That's going to lose you a demographic. So you want to sort of think in which direction you're going, who you're talking to, your audience, and if you start by acting like an asshole, that is going to come back and bite you on the ass. And this is things that people starting out, as I was saying, don't know, don't understand. And this will get you into fights. These things can ruin you if you don't know how to behave. It's an effect you see a lot. And then you add to that you're new and you don't know what you're doing, you don't know where you're going, and it will make things much harder for you. I could go into this very far, but I think I've rambled on, and I think I might want to make this into a series because there's so many things. There are really good YouTube people who know and can help, like Nydia? I don't know. Let's say Nydia Henry. She's really good. She does stuff on modeling. She's really good on marketing and things. And then there's, I think it's Jillian, who helps or like teaches you poses, how to act, things like that, shows examples by what she's done, and she does more commercial work. So she's a good one to follow. Just like read up, I can recommend my marketer getting a marketing person, reading about image, reading about marketing, reading about how you're going to sell yourself. These are all crucial things that you want to do before you start doing anything else. So I cannot stress that enough. But yeah, I'm going to stop rambling and go off and do my thing. And if you have any questions, you know, drop them below. And I hope you get something out of this this is crucial, this is important. And maybe next time we'll talk about what you want to talk about. And if you want to see a video, me talking to my marketer, I will do that also. I think she would actually really enjoy that. I sort of like have always been, you know, secretive about how I go about things, but I'm thinking that I am in a position now where I can help others, and I want to explore that more. I'm not going to call myself a manager. I'm not going to call myself a mentor or a teacher. I am not that. But there's no point in me sitting on that information. If I'm going somewhere, I'm taking my people with me. I am not going to show ill will, anything. I have nothing to gain doing that. I have everything to gain from being nice, taking people with me, doing good, and working my butt off. So I hope you took something with you, and I'll see you next time. Drop those comments.
They call me fashion motherfucker.